undoubtedly we have been in news for a long period of time for having done some great achievements in the field of heart and lung transplantation. This is yet again another feather in our cap. A remarkable 5 organ transplants done within a short span of 30 hours. That's just 1 day plus. And at this stage and point of time, I wish to present this achievement to everybody here and welcome you to this gathering. I would also want to place on record my thanks to those organ donors without whom heart and lung transplantation would not have been possible. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. Thank you for your presence at this momentous occasion. Last month on 25th May, our institution witnessed a historic event where we did 5 transplants, 4 heart transplants and 1 double lung transplant within a span of 30 hours. Probably this is a world first event because I spoke to some of my doctor friends abroad who are working in transplant unit, especially the heart and lung transplant units, and they were surprised to hear that 5 transplants within 30 hours they couldn't imagine. So our marathon began on 1:10 p.m. on 25th May. So we had a heart from the city-based hospital. We went ahead with the heart transplantation. Same day night at 10:50 p.m. we had one more donor, that is in Rajiv Gandhi Memorial Hospital, and we took the heart and also the lungs. And next day morning, 11 o'clock, again we had a donor at MGM Healthcare. So we took the heart for transplantation, and same day at 2 p.m. we had one more heart from Coimbatore. So our team could do all the transplants. It's only the transplants. We need to take care of these patients in the immediate post-op period also. Probably those are the sleepless nights, but it is worth it, and we are all happy. Now we extend our deepest gratitude to Transplant, that is the government agency which is actually taking care of the donor management, donor allotment. It is a tough time for them also. And last month in total we received 32 donor calls. That means there were 32 brain dead donors donating their organs. And our team, dedicated team, went to all these hospitals, assessed all the donors. So for possible heart and lung transplants, of these patients, of the donors, we retrieved 15 hearts and 14 hearts and 1 lung, and we could do 15 transplants within 1 month. That is one of the highest transplants we have done in a given month. Usually we do around 10 heart and lung transplants. So last month it was 15. To date, our team has performed around 650 heart transplants and double lung transplants together, and each one represents a beacon of hope and testament to our human resilience and compassion. So we are here today share our happiness and also our celebration with you all.
Lung transplantation is really a stupendous job. It does not mean it is a simple surgery. It's a many people has to come together and many things has to fall in right place. Then only all this can happen. It's a big team job. It's not that all these organs has to come. Though the few organs were been procured from the city itself. However, there are 2 organs which has to come from outside, and as price is a very important thing in Indian market. So those organs we have to procure and bring them through the commercial jet. You cannot have a private jet because that's a very big costly affair. So to make those timings as such that everything falls right in time, the jet has to start from there, at their time the patient has to be here in the theater and they have to be open chest. All those things needs a huge amount of coordination and teamwork, dedication. Those are the very important things. And then not only that, all these 5 patients are to be managed then after in the ICU, which is a lot of work. And we are really thankful that all of them are currently doing well. About the lung transplant, this hospital has done many first previously also. During the COVID time, perhaps if you remember, we have done the first COVID destroyed lung transplant in the Asia first. And then there are many first, there were many patients at one time together. There were the maximum number of patients were run on ECMO when the COVID run was going on. Then there was an 79 years old patient who has undergone transplant. After 3 months of patient on ECMO in a seriously serious ill health, and then the lung transplant. The patient is an Indian patient, though staying in US. He came down to Bangalore for some work and he got a viral infection and got the lung damaged completely, who need to be then put on ECMO in Bangalore and then flown in here for later on transplant. So that patient has survived after this much of RDS problem for him, and he is now doing well in the US. So there are many first for lung transplant for us. We should not boast, but I would like to say all this speaks volume about this hospital's care towards the patient and dedication for all of us to all those patients.
The reason we are having this is over the last more than 6 months now, the activity of Transplant from a national perspective has increased tremendously. So the donor awareness campaign that they've created has led to a very enviable donor situation in Tamil Nadu. As a consequence, we ended up doing almost 15 transplants last month, which is very high by world standards for one unit in a month. And in, I think, over a 20-hour period, we did almost 5 transplants. The reason this actually is complicated is that cadaveric donation related transplants are not planned. They happen when they happen. So it's not for 10 days you might have no activity and suddenly over a period of 20 hours you get 5 donors from different parts of the country. One in Calcutta, one in Hyderabad, one in Trivandrum, or one in Tirunelveli. So to have teams ready to travel to those places, to assess, to harvest the organs, bring them back. And the ischemic time of the heart is only 4 hours. So from the time of harvesting to the time of implantation, you are at 4 hours. So sometimes we have to have simultaneously 4 operating rooms running. So to have enough people to actually to manage all this is a Herculean task. It's difficult for Transplant to coordinate. You have to make sure the correct blood groups don't. When 4 organs arrive at the same time, it's perfectly possible for organs to get mixed. So much of logistics is involved. And even though the Airports Authority helps, very often India is the only country in the world where organs are transported using commercial airlines. And it's not easy. Sometimes we get an organ from Chandigarh. So from the hospital to the airport to Delhi, then terminal T1 to T3, going to another aircraft. Each of them you have to be 45 minutes before time. And take into consideration sometimes flights are delayed, landing is delayed, and in the meantime the recipient has to be timed. So it's a unique team effort, and despite this, the outcomes are very good. So I think Tamil Nadu is a great role model for the rest of the country in terms of how organ donation can be taken forward. So we are deeply grateful to Transplant, of course, all the donor families for their great generosity in the time of grief, and our own transplant coordinators. So this is much less of a medical effort, much more of an effort on the part of so many people who are voluntarily helping, including airline staff who wait for security staff who allow us to transport the organs out of time, and the aircrafts which allow us to deplane before anyone else. And this is just to highlight that Tamil Nadu actually is in the forefront of cadaveric organ transplant, even from the world perspective.